$10,555 shouldn't be capable of rewriting expectations. But somehow the Tesla Model 2 did what no one believed was possible at this price point. When a car enters the market under $11,000, people expect compromises, cut corners, and constraints. They expect a vehicle that simply gets from point A to point B. Nobody expects innovation at the structural level. Nobody expects breakthroughs that traditionally belong only to the premium segment. And absolutely nobody expects last-minute interventions from Elon Musk himself that completely rewire how the vehicle behaves under stress. Under uneven weight, or under the chaotic real-world conditions that most compact EVs simply cannot handle. Yet that is exactly what happened. A quiet, almost unnoticed engineering tweak ordered by Musk during the final phase of calibration didn't just alter the blueprint, it sent a shockwave through every automaker watching Tesla's low-cost strategy unfold. This wasn't a cosmetic update. It wasn't a design decision. It was a change that fundamentally redefined how dual-motor systems interpret torque, distribute power, and respond to unpredictable physical forces acting on the car. And because competitors didn't notice this change until late, they were blindsided. They assumed they understood exactly what a vehicle at this price could and couldn't do. They thought the Model 2 would be limited by the same physics that constrain every budget EV, but they were wrong. This last-minute modification quietly enhanced how torque shifts under uneven load without wasting energy. Without adding complexity, and without increasing the price ceiling, even by $1, it introduced behavior in the drivetrain that doesn't resemble a typical dual-motor EV at all. Instead, the system acts more like a real-time torque arbitrator, a kind of intelligent negotiator between forces applied to the car, ensuring that even when the cargo is lopsided, or when weight shifts mid-drive, the vehicle stabilizes itself in milliseconds. The Model 2 can now correct its own imbalance before you even feel it. And because the system is built on software, not heavy mechanical components, the cost stays low while the capability skyrockets. This forced engineers across the industry to reconsider their assumptions about high-speed safety, load stability, and even passive protection enhancements like practical bullet resistance that Tesla managed to integrate without compromising affordability. What exactly did Musk change at the last minute? How did it transform the Model 2 into something that behaves far beyond its price class? That's what this video explores. And before we dive deeper, help this channel cross 241,759 informed viewers. One tap on that subscribe button helps you stay ahead of every last-minute change before it blindsides the rest of the world. How does the dual-motor setup provide load-balancing torque shift for uneven cargo? Let's break this down through real-world situations, not engineering jargon. Loading your trunk with groceries, gym bags, or golf clubs for a Florida outing should be routine. It should feel normal. You shouldn't be worried that shifting weight will tug your car slightly off its line, or force you to make micro-corrections over and over again. But this is exactly what most drivers accept as normal. That subtle sway when you accelerate with uneven weight. The silent tire-wearing corrections during long Texas hauls. The slight instability when you brake with lopsided cargo. And that constant feeling, even if it's small, that your car is working against you instead of working with you. The Model 2 behaves differently. It handles loaded weight like it's on rails. And that isn't an exaggeration. It's engineered physics responding in real time to load shifts, gradient changes, traction variation, and rotational differences between wheels. With standard budget EVs, dual motors share torque in a fixed ratio. It's often 50/50ths or 60/40ths, no matter what the cargo situation is. This means that when weight shifts, the vehicle doesn't truly adapt. It simply reacts late. Your body feels the shift first. The stability system reacts second. The motors adjust dead last. But with the Model 2, the motors become the first responders. Imagine this. You're carrying 200 pounds of luggage in Florida humidity. Or maybe 150 pounds of tools in Texas dust. Maybe soccer equipment on one side of the trunk and nothing on the other, because that's how real families load their vehicles. Standard EVs with two motors experience a 10 to 15% torque imbalance under uneven loads. That imbalance leads to subtle handling dips that force your muscles to respond constantly, mile after mile. Over long drives, that physical strain becomes exhausting. Over years, it becomes part of how you assume driving must feel. Tesla refused to accept that compromise. Musk's last-minute change integrated a gyroscopic sensor network that links both motors, under front and rear, into a unified torque distribution brain. The system is built on 4-axis gyros that detect even minor shifts in weight distribution with extreme sensitivity. When the sensors detect weight shifting toward the rear, the front motor doesn't wait for a stability alert. It compensates instantly, adjusting torque ratios by up to 40/60ths in milliseconds. That is faster than a blink, faster than any driver can detect, faster than any conventional traction control system can interpret. Here's what makes it revolutionary. The Model 2 does all this without hydraulic assists. No extra weight. No complex mechanical linkages. No added cost. Just intelligent power routing executed through software and sensors. The front motor becomes a stabilizer rather than just a propulsion component. It pulls live data from the rear axle sensors, modulates its power output, synchronizes rotational speeds to reduce lateral sway. Internal Tesla tests estimate this cuts understeer by roughly 20% when the vehicle is carrying uneven loads. That is not a small improvement. It is the difference between a vehicle that feels stable and one that feels like a lightweight compact. The rear motor isn't just pushing the car forward. It is communicating with the front motor constantly. When you accelerate uphill in California with a 300-pound offset load, the rear motor senses the extra force on the back of the car. It relays that load information to the front motor, which immediately shifts torque to maintain the correct center of gravity. During internal simulations, using New York-style urban load patterns up to 500 pounds, loaded unevenly, the Model 2 improved straight-line stability by 25% at 50 miles per hour. Meanwhile, California hill testing with 300-pound offset weights showed cornering grip increasing from 0.7 grams to 0.85 grams with the system activated. These are numbers usually associated with vehicles that cost 7 times more than the Model 2. And now, we get into what Elon Musk changed at the last minute. The original model to production plan was supposed to use a simple 50/50ths torque split, the same basic approach that virtually every budget dual-motor EV uses. It was reliable, predictable, and safe. But according to internal sources, Musk reviewed real-world beta fleet data at the 11th hour. These vehicles had collectively driven over 10,000 miles, with test loads of all kinds tools, luggage, groceries, construction materials, sports gear, uneven passenger weight, and even asymmetrical roof cargo. The data showed one thing clearly. A fixed torque split didn't allow the vehicle to breathe, to adapt, or to respond precisely to how people use their cars in the real world. So Musk made a call: remove the fixed split entirely and replace it with variable torque mapping software. Engineers rushed to implement it before production locked in. The results were immediate. Beta testing showed handling complaints dropped by 35%. That is an enormous reduction. It meant the vehicle was not just safer, it was more comfortable, more predictable, and more intuitive. Drivers didn't have to fight the wheel as often. They didn't have to correct the car's path repeatedly during long drives. And they didn't experience the subtle fatigue that creeps into your body during trips with uneven cargo. For senior drivers in Texas, who average around 12,000 miles per year with varying loads, this upgrade translates to 15% fewer corrective steering inputs on average. Think about that. Over 5 years, that removes nearly 40 hours of accumulated microstress from your driving experience. For families who regularly haul sports equipment, groceries, weekend gear, or just the unpredictable chaos of family life, this system replaces anxiety with confidence. The vehicle feels like it is anticipating changes before they happen. Because in a sense, it is. What Tesla managed to do is remarkable. They avoided the typical solution, adding more hardware. Most automakers would need 60 pounds of reinforcements. mechanical balancing systems, or stabilizing bars to match this performance. Tesla achieved it through software, sensors, and intelligent torque mapping. No weight added. No cost increase. No mechanical complexity that could break down over time. This single decision didn't just improve the Model 2, it changed its identity. For a car priced under $11,000, no one expects engineering that feels alive. It adapts in real time, or that behaves like it understands physics at a granular level. And yet the Model 2 demonstrates that low cost does not mean low capability. It shows that affordability can coexist with intelligence, and that Tesla's mastery of electric powertrains allows them to revolutionize even the lowest end of their lineup. Now imagine the implications. A family in California loading beach gear unevenly. A construction worker in Texas tossing heavy tools into the trunk. A senior couple in Florida carrying groceries that slide from side to side.